Hey guys, Jason Lambert, Major League Fishing Pro here. Spring fishing. Anywhere you go in the country in the spring, March, April, you start getting those full moons. Every bass in the United States wants to start spawning, unless you're way up north, and then it happens in May and June. But anytime you're fishing around the spawn in the spring, one thing that you can never go wrong with is a wacky rig. This is a wacky rig, biobait Stinko. I've got it rigged a little differently than most people see it. You actually can do it like this around grass, around wood, so you tuck that hook so it's completely weedless. So it's a very simple setup. However you throw it, you can put an O-ring on this, you can do however you want to do it wacky rig. But spinning rod is almost a necessity with this thing because it's so light and you can get lots of distance out of a spinning rod. So this is a 7.2 medium heavy Duckett Series Pro Series. It's actually my signature rod. It's a 7.2, got plenty of length, got plenty of tip. It's a medium heavy rod. Just a standard 2500 Duckett reel, spinning reel. Everybody's looking at it and making fun of it right now because the handle's on the wrong side, but I'm left-handed. So fluorocarbon to braid is the way I always throw all my spinning tackle. So this is 20-pound Yozuri top knot. Actually, it's Yozuri braid 20-pound, 2 top knot. This is actually a 14-pound top knot fluorocarbon leader. So if you're in cleaner water, clear water, you can actually go down to 8-pound, 10-pound, whatever. You know, dirtier water, you know, I throw with the biggest line that I usually feel like I can get away with. And dirty water, you go to 14 or 16 pound, you're fine. But the 7.2 medium heavy rod, spinning tackle, braid to fluorocarbon, wacky rig, Stinko from BioBait, or whatever stick bait you like to throw, you'll put it in the backs of these pockets around docks where fish are trying to actively spawn. You know, shallow water obviously, but if you can get this thing around spawning fish, they will bite it. It's a fun technique. It's fun to fight these big fish on a spinning rod. Always have this on your deck in the spring when the fish are trying to spawn. Duckett Pro Series 7.2 medium heavy Jason Lambert rod. I actually designed this rod basically for two things, for this wacky rig and for a drop shot. It's got a plenty fast enough tip, but it's long, so you can really throw a wacky rig or a drop shot a long way with it. And that's one of the things fishing the spawn is staying away from these fish. The further away from them you can stay, the less spooky they get. So making long casts and still having enough backbone to get that hook drove in, but having enough tip that you're not breaking your line, it's kind of the perfect storm to have a good backbone and a fast tip. But this rod was designed basically for wacky rig fishing and drop shot fishing. You want the length, you got to have the length to make the long casts. The Duckett new Paradigm spinning reel, this is the 2500 version. We have a 2500 and a 3000. I personally like the 2500. It's got a big enough spool that you can get all the line on it you'll ever need, but it's a little smaller, a little more compact, it's a little lighter to fish all day. It's a 7:1 gear ratio, so it's a good fast reel. This is a brand new reel on the market. Perfect drag. It is a very good reel for any kind of spinning rod fishing, but especially for a wacky rig because it's fast enough to get caught up to them. So fishing weedless wacky rig, this is what I call this. This is a standard 3/0 extra wide gap katana hook, and it's a very simple rig. You just bring it in from the top instead of wacky rigging it with an O-ring or whatever. You just hook this hook through, get you a good bite, lay that worm in here. When you come back through the worm with this rig, you can actually keep it weedless. So that hook point is tucked, so it's out of sight, out of mind. So you can fish it around wood, you can fish it around grass, versus just fishing an O-ring where you've got that exposed hook. So all you're trying to do is just make it fall out kind of in the middle, like you do with an O-ring. But it is a weedless wacky rig. It's a little trick a guy showed me a few years ago, and when you're spawn fishing ultra shallow around reeds, around gator grass, all that, this is a really good rig to throw a wacky rig on.